Hey everyone, this is Jordan at the Music Zoo, joined today by Aaron from Powers Electric. Powers Electric, one of the most electrifying guitar releases of 2023.
I like it.
We were so happy to be there in El Cajon for the release of these guitars. It's been incredibly successful here. We've sold so many. They are flying off the shelves. We're really excited about it. Seems like guitar players all around the world are. And if you click in the link in our description, you might see our intro video for Powers. But Aaron, while we're here, why don't you tell me about some of the key features about these guitars?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, appreciate it. So, you know, Andy Powers, he has been building and designing guitars since he was a kid, working on all the historically amazing vintage guitars ever since you know he was a kid. And so, so he has a kind of a reverence and a background in what worked and what didn't from the 50s, 60s, and on. So, but what he wanted to do was kind of create something a little bit different. And that something that embodied who he was, his influences growing up in Southern California. And so he's an avid surfer, he's into hot rods, 50s, 60s hot rods. And so what this is, it kind of embodies like the background of Andy Powers, what is, 50s, 60s hot rod car culture meets surf and skate, Southern California. And I think he nailed it with the overall aesthetic and some of the player features that's in there too, So two models right now, you're holding one of them. That's the A-Type Select Maple, and this is the A-Type. So the A-Type is just an opaque color, usually some type of a vintage car color,
Right,
because
they've all been really cool to see. Yeah.
Right? I think right now there's probably 40% of them are different colors. So they're super unique,
It's kind of cool because each one that comes in, it keeps you on your toes. You're like, what color is this?
Yeah.
What does it represent? Which is really cool because it's coming from like a vintage car or something else that's like very inspiring of itself.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's the same interior, same inside, same everything with these two, but this has,
the Selects have the quilt maple top.
Either a flame or quilt maple. Yeah. So
we've got the top on this one.
That's gorgeous. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, we're excited. It's something a little bit different than what you have already, what you played before.
Maybe you could speak about the hollow body construction of these.
Yeah. So it's you look at it, it's like, oh wow, it's a solid body guitar, but no, it's completely hollow. So everything revolves around these two sound posts right here. So the bridge gets put into these two sound posts, which join the top and the back, and the rest of it's completely hollow. So it's kind of weird for a construction like that. The top has this little bend in here, so this is actually bent into shape, which puts a lot of extra tension on that top, so it raises kind of the resonant pitch of the whole guitar, which is really cool. They clock in at 6.5 to almost not quite 7 pounds, so they're really light.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
And
really well balanced.
Totally, and really, without an F-hole, and since the sound posts are there, think about a violin, the way it's constructed too.
Right.
That sound post in there is there to keep the top and back moving.
It's helping everything resonate in unison.
And without feedback.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what also helps this out without feedback. No F-holes, the sound post, and just kind of that top being bent into shape. So it's a lot of things to talk about with this guitar, and so we could geek out on it for hours.
Maybe we'll keep the car comparisons going. The pickups, I feel like, are the engine, and you have two different options when it comes to the Powers Electric pickups. You have the PF42s, which I believe you are holding, and this is the FF42's Full Faraday, Partial Faraday.
That's it.
Maybe let's get into like how should someone pick which one is right for them?
Sure. And the cool thing about this is we should probably, you're right, this sort of guitar got built kind of around the pickup. The pickup's been around for a while, and it's Andy's take on a really cool wide range single coil, right? So like you mentioned, FF Full Faraday cage, 42 being the wire. So it's a 42 gauge wire for it's a single coil pickup. But what Andy did was sort of encase the whole neodymium magnet. So it's a modern magnet, but it's in aluminum. So it's kind of like a take on what Paul Bigsby did back in the day, but he didn't have, rare earth magnets then.
Yeah.
So what the aluminum does, it's, if you're not familiar with a Faraday cage or shield, it keeps out unwanted electromagnetic fields, and it also does something cool to the electromagnetic fields that are inside it. So with this, it throws it really wide, so it's not the whole resonant frequency on the FF42s is a really wide. It goes all over it's really warm sounding, right?
Yeah, I agree.
But what the PF does, partial Faraday, so you're taking the full Faraday cage, right, and taking part of it off. What that does, it still does what it's supposed to do, in terms of electromagnetic fields, but it moves the resonant peak over to the treble side. So instead of being like nice and rounded and warm all over, it just kind of really acutely puts it towards the brighter spot, you know? So,
Yeah.
so if you're like playing in a band and need to cut through, or you're used to strats or tellies, or, you know, a little bit more aggressive sounding,
Yeah,
it's
I
got
think
a bite
it's
to it.
like they have a bite to them. I think I'm more partial to the partial Faradays
Okay.
because I'm more of an aggressive, heavy-handed player.
Right.
And I like that they give you like a really fast attack.
That's it.
I think the PF42 gets to it a lot quicker.
Yep.
But if you're playing chords and rhythms and maybe more, if you want a more of a wide variety of tones, the FF might be for you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're not both incredibly versatile.
Right.
But this one excels at that aggressive sound a lot more.
And you'll get to play these back to back and hear what they sound like, and that'll be a cool comparison.
Right,
But
for
you're
sure.
right. And we're talking in generalizations, right? It's like, you know, you can play, you know, all the metal you want on these, right?
Right,
But,
yeah, for sure.
But in generalizations, if you know, since we're making them in such limited supply right now, yeah, let's check the demo out, and you'll get to kind of hear what's right for you.
Yeah, for sure. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about the Powers Electric, please leave a comment in the section below. If you want inspiration about all the different types of finishes that have gone through our doors so far, click the link in the description where you can see all of the guitars that have come through the Music Zoo. If you want to try out a Powers Electric, we actually have one available to try in our appointment-only showroom. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.